Hey everybody, I'm JJ Johnson, and I'm a middle grade author and a geeky dad, and I want to tell you about the Right to Ignite masterclass that I'm doing called Lapping on the Light Side, writing clean, clever humor for kids and teens. We're going to talk about why humor is so much more than just jokes and how it helps readers connect, how it deepens your characters, builds tension, and how clean laughter can strengthen faith and hope in our stories. We'll also look at what makes kids laugh is totally different from what works for teens and how to match your humor with your audience. Then we'll get really practical with some tools that you can use right away, like timing, funny dialogue, awkward moments, and escalating chaos. So if you want your stories to be funnier, sharper, and more page turning, come join me at Right to Ignite on April 18th. I'll see you all there. Later.
Welcome to the Right to Ignite podcast, where we talk to people who are igniting the next generation with a heart for the Lord. I'm Kyle Morgan.
And I'm Brenda Covert.
Now, Brenda, I have a question for you. Who published your picture book?
It's funny you should ask, Kyle. My publisher is Ambassador International.
What a coincidence. Today's guest is Anna Raats. Anna was born and raised in Greenville, South Carolina, and currently resides in the Netherlands after her marriage to a Dutch man in 2014. She graduated with a Bachelor of Arts degree in publishing in 2007, and she has been employed with Ambassador International since 2009, working through the ranks from a freelance member of the creative team to becoming COO in late 2016. In her spare time, Anna enjoys spending time with her loved ones, especially her sons, reading, working out, attempting gardening, and exploring Europe while she can. Anna, welcome to the podcast.
Thank you for having me.
I want to start off with a simple question of what does a COO do at a publishing company?
Well, a little bit of everything would actually be my honest answer. We are not a huge publishing house, so I can't speak for other publishing houses. But because of our size, I have my fingers in a bunch of different little pots all day long. It's just what I do.
So it's whatever needs done, you get it done.
Basically.
I love that.
Okay, well, you live in the Netherlands, but you're serving as COO for a publishing house based in South Carolina. So, what does a
Correct.
typical day look like for you working across continents and time zones?
Lots of emails, lots of projects, lots of administration, lots of spreadsheets, those kind of things. I don't know if that's a good enough answer, but yeah, I'm telling you,
Um,
I do it's a lot of desk computer stuff. I don't walk a lot. But yeah, just a lot of what I said, emails, tons of emails. Um, Projects, sending files to different places, just all kinds of things.
and the time difference right now is 7 hours.
Is it 7 or is it 5? I don't even know. It's 9 p.m. here. This is
It's
what I know.
okay, it's 4 here. It's
So
2
5.
for Kyle.
Okay. Yeah, I have been doing this since 2016, so it's like I know. And my computer's on South Carolina time, so like 9 p.m. is
Oh,
3 p.m., 10 p.m. is 4. Like my brain just automatically converts everything. So then when we have the time change, I am so thrown off and I can never remember, is it 5 hours? Is it 7 hours? What time is it? And because my computer is still on South Carolina time, like I almost went and picked up my kids an hour early from school because my computer said 3:30 and I'm like, kids, school. The time change really throws me off.
Oh yeah, I bet. And so you were pretty much prepared when COVID happened and everybody was working remotely. You didn't it probably didn't change much for you, did it?
No, not really. When I first started at Ambassador, and even when I became COO, a lot of people were working from the office. But just as culture changed, this industry changed, and then I mean, I'm the COO working from home in another country. How can I tell someone else they can't work from home? So it's basically everyone works remote as long as we have internet and we connect for meetings, we text, we sometimes Facebook chat, like wherever we can find one another. We have Slack, we have Bumble, we have, well, we had Skype. They just did away with Skype. So, yeah, as long as we have the internet, it works.
Yeah, I love that.
Hmm.
Now, according to the Christian Writers Market Guide, it says 50% of your books come from first time authors. So, what is special about Ambassador International that helps first time authors? Like, and is it a good training ground? Would you, I mean, obviously you would recommend it.
Obviously. We do try and work really hard with our authors, helping them establish their social media, trying to get them connected. We also just try and get them connected with each other because it basically I'm like you're each other's cheerleaders and
Yeah.
support one another and help each other build your platform. And so maybe it's just that because we're smaller, it's an easier place to get your foot in the door. But we've had authors go on to other publishing houses, and we don't see that as a bad thing. We see it as
Yeah.
we helped them grow. Like they started with us, and then other publishers thought they were desirable enough, they stole them, and that's not bad.
No, I love that. And then that comes back to the books you published with them.
Yeah.
You publish a wide range of titles from devotionals, fiction, adult fiction, nonfiction, memoirs, children's books, middle grade, young adult, and picture books. So, what makes a manuscript stand out to your team?
Our publisher is the one who actually does much of the choosing of what we publish. So he would be a better one to answer that question. He runs things by us, and we all receive the submissions. And sometimes we send him input or, hey, this one seems good.
So, I
Mm.
sent mine to you. So then
Hmm.
it went to Dr. Lowry.
Hmm. Yeah.
Okay.
And of course, I sang your praises and then was like, hey, we should sign this one. Um, I don't know if this sounds like a good answer. Maybe it makes us sound um selfish or conceited or something. I don't know. But obviously, we want a story to be well written. But the ones that tend to jump out the most are the ones where they have a good platform and it seems like they have people who are going to want to buy their book because at the end of the day, that's what we want is book sales. You can have the best story in the world, but if you don't have a platform and we can't reach people for your book, then it's going to go nowhere. Millions of books are published every year. But if you come to us and you have a platform and you have people ready to support you and buy your book, then we're like, hey, we like you.
I think all publishers are looking along those lines.
Yeah,
I
let's
mean,
say it.
you're not doing it for the fun of it. You are doing it to be able to stay in business. For
Very
that, you've
true.
got to make the money.
But we do like good stories,
Yeah.
and especially stories that point to Jesus. That's what we want to do. That's the heart of the company is magnifying the Lord. So,
But
yeah,
you're not like,
that's. Oh,
I
go
can't
ahead.
remember. I think it's David C. Cook that's a nonprofit or something like that. You still have to you still have to have a business.
Yeah, something I've really struggled with just personally over my time as COO is we're not a ministry. We are a company. We need to make money. But at the same time, we're doing this for the Lord. And so, you can't count that monetarily. Like that is priceless. And if we can just change one heart for the Lord, then it doesn't matter how much money you make. And yet we have bills to pay and we have employees and so it's finding that balance and fighting that battle of not prioritizing money and yet we need money. It's still something I struggle with. Like that's hard.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But you're still ministering to your employees. You're still, there's still a lot of biblical principles on how to take care of the people who work for you. You can still run a business, ethically without feeling like you have to kind of separate the two, if that makes sense.
Yeah, and we try and take care of everyone. At the
Yeah.
end of the day, we are humans. We are not perfect. I'm not gonna say we've done everything right every single day of, but we do our best, and God's got us. That I know.
Yeah. And that perfectly leads to my question of what are some trends in the publishing business that worry you, and what are some trends that excite you?
Hmm. I am leery about AI stuff and how that is all playing out. Um, I'm probably honestly not as informed as I should be because I stay busy doing my job, but I try and keep up to date on things as much as necessary. Again, our publisher is a huge buffer for me. He keeps more of an eye on a lot of those things while I handle the day to day. Um, but figuring out like AI is not going away. And I don't mean Ambassador International, but that's also not going away, hopefully ever. Um, yeah, figuring out how to utilize it, if we're going to utilize it, I see ways it can help with efficiency and like databases and things like that, but I don't ever want to see it take away the creativity and the human aspect of stories. So that's something I see in the industry that I just am watching. Like some people are jumping on it and loving it, and I'm not there. And then what was the other part of the question?
Stuff that
Uh,
excites you, like the good trends.
Book sales. Those are always a good trend. I read actually an article today even about how like people we've been so inundated with social media and the digital age that people are finding that they want to actually step away from the digital age. And while people don't read a lot, they want to start reading more. And I think that's really cool. When I read that, I was like, oh, that's really awesome. So I look forward to that.
Yeah. Yeah, AI is not going away, but I don't think books are going away either.
no,
Yeah,
thank goodness.
but it is hard to try and because we are so busy. Like everyone's so busy. So figuring out how to reach readers. So I don't know if it's fair to say this is a huge industry trend. I haven't looked into it that much, but I mean, for us, we've been trying to move so many of our books to audio
Mhm.
because that's one way that you can consume story while doing something else. Like a lot of people read in audio, and so yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Do you have books in the electronic market, or is it still mainly print?
Oh no, my first job with Ambassador, well, my first actual job was an interior typesetting. And after I did that book, my COO at the time, he said, "What do you know about ebooks?" I said, "Nothing, but I'll learn." So back in 2009, I started figuring out how to make ebooks, and it was new at the time-ish, and so like they were super popular, and our ebook sales were really strong. But I would actually say now, paper sells more than ebook. So we
Yeah.
still make them. We still want to have them available for the people who do read them. But I would definitely say our ebook sales are on the decline and our print sales are on the rise. But audio is also on the rise.
Okay, that's interesting. Well, I've never read an ebook. I just want to hold it in my hand and put a bookmark in there. You know, and at the time when electronic books came out, they were like, "Oh, you know, print's going to go out of business. So everything is going to be electronic." And I'm just happy that it's not turned out to be that way.
Hmm. Yeah, I think that's that's the case with a lot of things. I mean, even I was unrelated to publishing, but reading something about like with smartphones and how everyone used to want smartphones and now kids are deciding they don't want smartphones because they see, getting addicted to it. So when this stuff is introduced, like we all go crazy, oh, this new cool thing. But then give it some time and eventually we'll, smarten up and be like, oh, we don't like that as much as we thought we would. Um, Same with
Except maybe with
books.
AI.
I don't know. I'm hoping it
But it's
flies
a good
out.
tool. Listen, I don't know how to make a spreadsheet, but I can ask AI to make a spreadsheet for me and tell it how I want it formatted, and boom, there it is.
Oh no, see,
Less
I
than two
just make the
minutes.
spreadsheet myself. I stay away from AI as much as possible. And when someone tells me they use it, I'm like, shame on you. Shame on you.
Oh, I'm sorry.
It's okay, I'll forgive you.
I mean, I've also used it to try to come up with a better title than I have. I'll be like, what title would be similar to this, but not this? And it'll give me a list of options.
Hmm.
I might pick one, or I might pick one and tweak it.
I really had like I couldn't even tell you how to find Chat GPT. Like I would probably have to Google it. I don't know if that's what you do. Like I have avoided AI like the plague.
Well, I did until I had a client who wanted me to learn AI and to do some stuff in that for him. So I
I
was like,
should
ah,
probably learn something about it, but that's I don't know. That's my defiance. Like I'm not
well, it
going
will
to
lie to
like
you.
it.
It will lie to you. I asked ChatGPT to tell me about myself because I wanted to know what was on the internet that it could find about me. And I mean, it had some stuff that was true that I'm like, oh, that was from my blog from like 10 years ago. But there was other stuff like it gave me a website and I don't have a website and I tried clicking the link that it provided. There's nothing there. It's like what and a book title that I hadn't written. It's like, and neither is anybody else. So it's sneaky and you have to keep an eye on it because it just wants to tell you what'll make you happy instead of telling you the truth.
Yeah.
I like what you said that you don't want to use it for the creative side because I used it as an experiment. I had an old book outline that I had written in my teens for some steampunk story, and I plugged it in and I had it write it. And I did this for a blog post experiment, and it created it. And it I told it to write in the style of Jules Verne because Jules Verne is in the public domain. I was like, I don't want to steal, from a modern author. But what was interesting is that it was so soulless. You read it, and there was just something missing. I
Mm.
had to rewrite almost all the dialogue. It did not make sense because it was problem solving. All the dialogue was problem solving. It was not natural. But even still, there was something that just felt so surface level. And I think that's what's interesting is that the, the reason people read books is to feel something. And if you're reading a book that makes you feel nothing, then it's not going to work.
It's a waste of your time.
Yeah. So it'll be interesting to see when people realize that. And since this is a podcast for children's writers and about children's books, what sort of children's books does Ambassador International like and what are they looking for? I don't know if you can talk about that.
We like them all. Like, and they're Christian books, but some of the books we've done aren't even Christian. We have some adoption books that we've done, that parents can read to their kids to help them feel loved in the family. We have one called A Part of My Family, one called Why Did You Choose Me? But then we have some that very religious, like scripture on every page. Um, we're publishing one next year called Hadley is What She Eats. Hadley the hippo is what she eats. And it's about a hippopotamus and learning colors, but she uses scripture and like takes it back to Jesus. So, I mean, our catalog is honestly all over the place. But as long as you point to Jesus with your story, we're a fan of it.
I love
Is
that.
there anything you don't want to see? Like there's too much, like it has been overdone.
You're probably not gonna like my answer.
You can tell me a Christmas story.
We have a lot of Christmas storybooks, but yours is a unique spin on it, so that does set yours apart. And you very specifically didn't want it to look Christmassy, so yours is unique. Like it will set itself apart from all the other nativity stories out there. But we have a couple of those. Um, but Yeah, I think that's probably the one we have the most of is just Jesus's birth. But that's a fun story, so
Yeah.
Yeah. And I have to say, I buy a new nativity picture book every year.
do you?
That's just that, like, that's my thing. I have a huge stack, and they're all different, and none of them involve a stable boy. So,
Yeah, I said yours is definitely unique.
oh, here's a good one. What mistakes do you see most often in submissions or queries? Help our listeners know what not to do.
We'll read the questions and answer them appropriately. Or like people will just email us their submission, and I'm like, it's very clear on our website what the expectation is. So if you can't even follow those instructions, you're not starting yourself off on a great foot. So read the instructions and do what they say and fill out what they want. We ask for, I think in ours, we ask for the first two chapters and the last chapter initially. And sometimes people will just send the whole book and like, can you read? You can write, but can you read? So read. That would be my advice.
So take your time, read all of it, make sure you dot your I's and cross your T's. And
Yes.
oh, that's hilarious. You mentioned, platform being a thing because
Mhm,
that's just the society, that's just the world we live in. So
mhm.
can you give me like a number of what is what is a good number of followers on social media or you know subscribers to a newsletter, or what is something that's enough to be impressive, if that makes sense?
I mean, the shortest answer is the higher the better.
Yeah,
But
exactly. Is there a minimum that's reasonable, like?
we look for if they're in the thousands.
Yeah.
But again, the higher the better. And I know that sounds so selfish, but I think it is 10% of your platform will actually support you. So, if you've got 500 people, that means maybe you've got 50. So the more you can have, the better. But of course, you want to be trying to cull out the ones who are just along for the ride and aren't actual supporters. The preference is that they all be actual legitimate supporters. But I would say, like, if someone comes to us with 5K, we're like, hey, we like, whoa, where'd you come from?
Yeah.
But that's also due to the size of our publishing house. Like, people with huger platforms are probably going to find themselves elsewhere. So that is going to depend based on the publisher.
Yeah. And you don't want, like, there's some people that pay to have, like, fake accounts follow them and stuff. Like, you're probably
No.
also looking at how many likes or shares on a post, or as opposed to, you've got 10,000 followers and you've got like 3 likes on your post. There's I'm sure.
Yeah, we do check that stuff out. Like, well, you have a really high number, but one person liked that post.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
It, we're not going to say no based on that, but it is something we take into account. Like, that doesn't seem right.
Yeah. Yeah, you just have to. I mean, I created a fake Twitter account a few years back and just got 1,000 followers, and nobody was liking any of the tweets. Nobody was seeing them. It was just these weird follow trains, and it was, like, I'm pretty sure these accounts aren't real, and so
But see, I
Yeah.
also feel like we can't be selfish in that I think our Instagram account has like 2,500. And we're growing slowly but steadily. But I can't be like, oh, you have 2,500? No, we're not going to give you the time of day. That's what we have. So,
that's a good point.
yeah.
Okay, now I'm going to put you on the spot.
Oh boy.
How does Ambassador International support authors after their books are released? And I'm taking notes because my release is coming up next month.
We have a publicity director. Um, what you get is going to be dependent on what kind of book you have. I mean, there are obviously some things you can do with one kind of book that you can't do with another. We're trying to reach out to your local media. We're trying to We have a marketing questionnaire that we have our authors fill out. I'm sure you
That
filled
took me
it out by now.
months to
It's
fill out.
so big
It
and
was
there's
so
so much
long.
information. I know,
Yeah,
but it helps us. Basically, we're picking your brain, and the more information you can give us, the more we can help you. And so in that regard, it's team effort. And we're
absolutely.
putting posts out on socials, put stuff out in our newsletter. And then we're connected with bloggers, book reviewers. We are, I mean, actively trying to make connections with accounts on Instagram who do book reviews and stuff like that to send them things. We're looking for podcasts where we can
Yeah,
pitch
that's amazing.
people. Like, we are crazy busy behind the scenes, but considering that millions of books are published every year, it doesn't
Yeah,
mean that everything's going to happen. For fiction books, sometimes we'll put out book trailers. We've done it for nonfiction too. So we're trying to do whatever we can for you, but we also always tell our authors it's a partnership. Like, we're in this together,
absolutely.
and the more you can help us, the better chance of success we have. So, how was that for an answer?
That's a good answer because
That is
people
a
may
Good.
not know. I mean, I kind of knew, but our listeners may not know. So
and to tie it
thank
back
you.
with and to tie it back with AI, please do not use AI to fill out that marketing
Do not.
form.
Anna
You,
will know if you did.
you do not want to
And
have
Anna will
people
not talk to you if she finds out you did. Just kidding.
you do not want people to reach out your people to reach out to a local media like a newspaper that does not exist.
Yeah. No, but I mean, we ask questions like, "What feeling does your book bring?" And then like our questionnaire has questions about covers and all kinds of stuff. Like, I don't even think you could fill it out with AI. I think we would easily be like, "No, this does not make any sense whatsoever. It needs the human touch."
Yes.
Mhm.
And I know, like, I've had authors say it's so much. I'm like, I know, but you have no idea how helpful it is. And sometimes we don't use the information. Like, we have authors ask or tell us 5 things about themselves. And for a time, we had a series on our website, like 5 things about our authors. We haven't done that in a while, but we still have them fill it out in case we ever want to resurrect that. And it helps us get to know you better, which helps us be able to promote you better. And sometimes just putting you out there helps get your book out there. And again, that's something that does depend on the kind of book that you wrote. Because I read or I heard somewhere that when it comes to fiction, it's the author that sells the book. Like, people will buy a book because so and so wrote the book, no matter what so and so wrote the book about. If you love so and so, you're going to buy their book.
Yeah.
But when it comes to nonfiction, the subject matter sells the book. If you're looking for a book on this subject, you're going to go look for that. So that's why sometimes we try and put the author out there more than the book because people might buy it because you wrote it. So
Yeah.
there's very many variables just based on what kind of book you're publishing. They are not cookie cutter.
It almost sounds like you're not interested in a recluse writer that doesn't want to leave their house.
Is
Not
that you,
really.
Kyle?
No, no, I'm just thinking that, that whole kind of fantasy that writers have where, I just write it and I send it off and it's, amazing and I never have to do any interviews, never have to talk. That's just not the real world.
Nope. That
That's where the hard
I
stuff
I
begins.
don't even think that was the world when I started in publishing, but I don't know if it's just from like seeing it in movies or hearing things like that has been an expectation. And I think sometimes that is still the expectation. But I'm like, no, you gotta put yourself out there. Hence, I'm doing this interview.
Yeah.
Um, that's how you meet people, and millions of books are published a year. You gotta find them somehow.
Yeah.
So. You got to be out there.
Yeah. And I
Which,
Well,
don't,
and
if you don't want to be out there, write nonfiction instead of fiction. That would be my advice.
yeah.
going back to that very long marketing questionnaire,
Mhm.
if the author has already filled all of that out, then they can make some graphics themselves. I mean, I could post my own 5 random facts about me.
True. Oh
So
yeah,
it's
nothing's
not
stopping you from that.
just for the publishing house, but it might help a little because it's been 2 years since I filled that out, so I can go back and look at it, maybe find some things that I want to turn into a graphic.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, honestly, I've never thought of that, Brenda, but you're not wrong. So I'm gonna see this on your social media soon, huh?
Absolutely.
Make sure you tag Ambassador.
Yeah.
I will.
We talked about, platform and, how to market the book. So I wanted to ask you just a basic, ballpark book sales number. Like, how many copies does a book have to sell for you guys to consider it a success? And I know that varies among titles and stuff, but, even just a rough estimate would help because I'm not sure I've ever heard anybody give a figure where I'm like, oh, okay, I can kind of put my head around that.
Well, in the thousands, we love that.
Yeah.
But is that every book that we publish? I'm sad to admit, no. Um, but that is the dream for us. Hundreds is more realistic. And for the recluse authors that we talked about who don't really do anything, sometimes it can be even in the double digits. And there have yeah. There have honestly been books where it's like we're beating our head against a wall. Like we're doing all the things and it's just like for some reason people aren't buying it. And then we're like, what are we doing wrong? So then we have to try and like see if we can redirect or figure it out. But good sales for us are in the thousands,
Yeah.
if
Yeah.
that helps.
That does help. Yeah, because I've heard the average book is like printed as there's like 2,000 copies. But I'm like, okay, but average, are we talking like average compared to, the ones that sell the millions and the ones that sell, 5 copies? Like, are you averaging it out? Is that, per thing? I wanted to know a little more. So yes, thank you.
You're welcome. I read, I think, that a first-time author usually sells less than 200 for their first book.
No, that is not acceptable.
Sorry, Brenda.
No.
I believe I'm quoting that number correctly. Don't hate me if
Oh,
I'm wrong. But here's what I tell people. Like, sometimes they get really discouraged by that. Like, I wanted
yeah.
to do better. But it's your first book. You're starting out the gate, you're new, nobody knows you. Like,
Well, your friends and family know you.
you have 200 friends and family? Because I don't, and I have a big family. So to reach 200 people, that's actually a really good thing. It shows you've gone beyond your friends and family, but you know what helps you go even further is a second book and a third book. Some of the top named authors that I could quote right now, they've got 20, 30, 40 books under their belt. Like they've spent the time investing in themselves, in their writing, in their business, and they've grown and they didn't give up after the first book. So even if you're discouraged, don't stop. Keep going. And the more you have, the more chance of success that you have.
And that's the
Yeah,
soundbite for the
I'm
podcast.
yeah, I'm to say tell on myself. I had intended to compile a launch team because I've seen a lot of picture book authors and maybe other Christian books too have a launch team that does so much to propel them forward on the actual launch date, and I've just been so busy that I didn't do it. And so I'm just crossing my fingers and going on podcasts and I'm going to be on another blogger's blog interviewed and so I'm doing other things. But there's so much you can do if you had the time.
Yeah,
And if you want your grandma that has her grandkids every weekend.
yeah, but grandma with grandkids, those grandkids have friends. And like for children's books, it's almost easier to do things non-digitally. Try and do a reading in your local library because a lot of parents don't want their kids doing digital stuff. And so, how do you meet your market? Try and find them. Go to libraries, go to, I don't know, stores that'll let you do signings. Like find kid-oriented places where you can be a presence, or maybe they'll let you put up a sign or what have you. Or I don't know, find a local quilting club or something that you presume is a bunch of older ladies who might have grandkids. I don't know. No offense to any quilters out there. I don't quilt. But just like thinking outside the box, like when you have children's books, how do you find them?
Yeah, and it's really interesting. And at least Brenda, you have a seasonal book, so you can try every year.
Yes.
So I mean,
Yeah, that is a nice thing about it.
And I don't have to go strong all year long.
yeah.
I have author friends that they are like they're out every weekend at events, and it's just like they are always. I mean, and they have some of them have a full-time job in addition to that, and I'm just like, I don't know how they do it, but it's go 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 all year long because it's a general not seasonal book. So I think I made a good choice for my first one. Come January, I can rest.
We do upon occasion see like a Christmas book sale in the middle of the summer, and I'm like, that's so curious. I love it. Christmas in July.
Yeah,
But
there's
yes.
some Christmas in July events. It's funny.
Yeah, yeah. It does always tickle me when I see those random odd sales. Like, who is buying this book now and why? But okay, thanks. Not
Maybe they just
complaining.
met the author and they got excited.
Maybe. Yeah. Unfortunately, we don't often know where the sales come from and why. It's harder to track these sort of things down. But it is fun to see when books are selling, even if it's randomly. Like, we'll take it.
You won't complain?
No, I will not at all. I got some more books if you want to buy them too.
Yeah.
What's one children's book besides the Bible that had a big influence on you growing up?
The earliest books I really, really remember reading were the Boxcar Children. I loved those books.
My daughter loved those books too. She'd be reading three at a time.
Hmm. I read the American Girl books. I remember loving those. I had a lot of horse books like Beauty, Black Beauty, and I don't know, my reading was kind of all over the place. Like, I love books, so I
Mm.
read everything. I even read Goosebumps. Yeah, Goosebumps.
Yes.
My parents didn't know it was not approved, and my dad said he'd watch this later, so feel free to edit that out. But I read a little bit of everything. But I think probably what I loved the most was the Boxcar Children.
Yeah, those are
They are a
classics.
classic.
So here's just a nice fun question for you. What is the most rewarding part of your job?
It is actually a very rare occurrence that it's gonna sound bad to say, but that we receive gratitude from our authors. Like,
Mm.
oftentimes we hear when they're frustrated or when they're upset or when things aren't going right. And just this week, I got an email from an author who thanked me for everything we had done to help their book be successful. And it just made my heart melt. Like that they took the time to send that email and to just show gratitude for what we do. So that, like, seeing the gratitude from my authors just makes it all worth it. If I heard that someone had come to know the Lord, that would of course make it worth it, but I don't really ever hear that sort of feedback. So, but Jesus is why I do this, so that would be the best feedback.
Yeah, that's such a cool answer.
Do you have any part of your job that you find the most fun?
Sometimes I lay out the interior of the book. And there are other people that can do it, and maybe they do it better than me, I don't know, but every once in a while I will do it because that gives me a creative outlet. Like that was the first thing that I did at the company, And you get to choose what the book is gonna look like. I never do the covers. I'm not a designer, but interiors I can do. And I find that fun, like being able to be creative and decide what to put on the pages and how to make the interior match the cover. And so when I get to do that, I jump on it because I'm like, it's fun. I like it.
As a publisher, is there an author that you would love to work with that I know 50% of them are first time authors, but is there somebody, and that could be, a celebrity or somebody that you'd like to see their books, but is there an author that you're like, if we could get them, like that would be really exciting?
I'm not gonna name names. Um, no,
I
Or it
I
could be an author you want to meet.
oh, I have met Lynn Austin. I was very excited to meet her. Um, no, I have to admit that there have been some individuals I've kind of sort of stalked on Instagram where I thought if we could publish their story, that would be so cool. Um, I don't know if this will step on feet or will cause problems, but
You
you
can
know, in
always
the
edit it out.
in the culture that we live in with the transgenderism and stuff, when you see stories of people who I lived this transgender life and I came back to Christ, and here's how you can talk to people, like I think that's such an important message for the world right now. And so I think publishing a book like that would be so amazing.
The
So,
detransition story.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've seen those on Instagram.
There is one who she has written a book. Um, I do not know if she self-published or used a publisher. I didn't look that far. But there have been a couple where when I've come across them, I just thought, man, they've got an amazing story to tell, and it would be fun to be a part of that. But we don't generally, just in the way we operate, we don't generally go looking for them. We let them come to us.
Yeah.
So that's one of my sort of little pipe dreams of like, I wish we could do that. Like,
Yeah.
I wish we could go to you and be like, can we buy your story from you? Because you've got an amazing one. Because they have such amazing stories about how they lived and how they left that lifestyle and what God did in their hearts and in their lives. And I'm like, that's incredible.
Yeah. Yeah. Testimony stories are just so cool.
Hmm.
Very true. What encouragement would you offer to writers who feel discouraged or unsure about pursuing publication?
I read a status that I put on Facebook. I think it was in 2008. And it said, God didn't bring you this far just to leave you here. And I think how applicable that seems in this. Like, God didn't give you a story to not put it out there, to not publish it. If God gave you the story, put it out there. He didn't give it to you for nothing.
I love
But it
that.
would be easy. No, I have to tell this on myself. Um, Way back in my 20s, when I was determined to be an author and was getting tired of rejections, I submitted a story and I prayed, God, if you want me to be an author, they will accept this and send me money. And what do you suppose happened? I got rejected because I was on my own timeline and you can't tell God what to do. And I did maybe for like 5 minutes give up. And look, it's taken what, 20 or 30 more years, but I got here.
You're back. Yeah. Well, and I mean, obviously, as a CEO of a traditional publishing house, I'm not pushing you to self-publishing, but that is an option. If you feel nowadays, that's an option. If you feel like you can't go to a publishing house, there are still options for you. And God gave you that story. And we're not told how or when He will bless us, but He does promise us that we will receive his blessings. And you don't know by putting your story out there whose life you might be touching that you might never know.
Yeah.
So it does depend, if you're looking to become the next top bestseller and you sell one copy, yeah, sure, you might be disappointed, but what if you changed their world?
Yeah. You know, Brenda,
So
it also says not to test the Lord.
I know, I learned that lesson.
Oh, well, thank you so much for doing this, Anna. This has been a blast.
yes, yes, it has.
And you survived.
I did.
Well, if you want to check out all of Ambassador International's upcoming books, you can head on over to ambassadorinternational.com. That's ambassadorinternational.com. And Anna was gracious enough to offer a $25 gift card to Ambassador International's retail store. If you want to enter for a chance to win, here is how you do it. You can email us at info.right2ignite@gmail.com. That's info.right2ignite@gmail.com. Or you can comment on this blog post. Anna, thank you so much for doing this.
No problem. Thanks for asking.
And thank you so much for listening. And I hope you will tune in to the next episode. In the meantime, keep writing and igniting those hearts for the Lord.